FM, Abuja.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Citizen FM News at noon. I am Lawrence Umoite. Mental health experts have called on the federal government to ensure proper implementation of the Mental Health Act in Nigeria. The call was made as today marks World Mental Health Day by the World Health Organization, with the theme Mental Health is the Universal Human Right. WHO explains every October 10 is to raise awareness of mental health issues around the world and to mobilize efforts in support of mental health. The federal government has denied reintroducing the subsidy on petrol amidst closure of many filling stations nationwide due to various challenges in the downstream oil sector. It also said the pockets of queues observed by motorists in petrol stations across the country stemmed from hiccups in production distribution from south to north, not a lack of supply.
Subsidy whatsoever. We are recovering our full cost from the products that we import. We sell to the market. We understand why the marketers are unable to import. We hope that they do this very quick, and this is some of the intervention government is doing. There's no subsidy.
The NNPCL also announced that Nigeria would become a net exporter of refined products by next year, going by effort to revamp its refineries.
Government is doing so much to ensure supply of FX into the market. We know that these FX markets will stabilize. Current A&E window is around 770, and we know that those inputs that's already happening, the inputs of government today will crystallize, and also they will come to an equilibrium position in the FX market. And this is the dream of this country, so that we'll have a stable FX market, stable product market, where the product prices of product will also speak to prices of other commodities. And this is already manifesting, and we think this is the economic revolution that this country needs.
The federal government says it will soon issue an order compelling airline operators to start paying compensation to passengers for delayed and cancelled flights not attributed to natural occurrences. Aviation and Aerospace Development Minister Festus Keyamo said this during a meeting with airline operators in Abuja. However, Keyamo urged the airline operators to build stable communication channels that enable passengers to get cancellation notices.
For 5 hours and you cancel your flight, it is not a screening machine. So I want to appeal. It is not every time that strikes. You see, after some time, we'll start implementing the provisions of the SCA Act. You know, Nigerians don't know that there's compensation for delay. If it is an act, if it's act of God, you cannot pay. But if it is human fault, SCA Act says you will pay. So for all airline operators, why I have praised you, why I have supported you, I will support Nigerians, so you will pay them.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has assured that President Bola Tinubu's administration would harness Kogi's natural resources for its citizens' benefit. The Vice President gave the assurance during a meeting with first-class traditional rulers at the State Government House in Lokoja. He was in Lokoja to flag off the All Progressives Congress governorship campaign for the November 11th election in the state.
For the purpose of continuity and consolidation, Kogi cannot afford to fall into hostile hands. Certainly, it will deprive Kogi of its rightful share in the nation. The president has just approved funds for the construction of the Ganaja Road.
Earlier, Governor Yaya Bello of Kogi State said the state could not afford to fall into the hands of the opposition with its proximity with the Federal Capital Territory and all the APC states sharing boundaries with the state. He assured the Vice President that the forthcoming governorship election in the state would be peaceful, free, and fair.
I want to assure you, sir, that you are seeing unity in place. Here are our revered fathers. We have enjoyed a good working relationship with them all this while, and all the citizens of Kogi State are in our support. We want to assure you that this election is going to be smooth, fair, and credible.
The Lagos State High Court sitting in Tafawa Balewa Square has sentenced the suspended Assistant Superintendent of Police, Drambi Vandi, who killed a Lagos-based lawyer, Omobalanle Rahim, to death by hanging. Justice Ibirunke Harrison sentenced the ASP after finding him guilty of the murder of the pregnant lawyer. Justice Harrison held that the prosecution was able to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt. The judge also held that the convict shot the deceased at a close range.
We hope it will bring a closure for the family of late Mrs. Bolanle Rahim, and we thank the government headed by Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
We believe that this is a step to pushing the effect on the family members, because at the end of the day, it cannot replace a loved one, but it is a step in the right direction.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Bar Association in Lagos has expressed excitement over the verdict passed on the killer of its member.
The president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Yakubu Chinukwumekia, had mentioned the fact that the NBA was going to follow this matter till the end. That's exactly what we have done.
Justice has been done. We're also calling on the Ministry of Justice to consider the Gafaro schemes to ensure that justice is done.
A federal high court in Abuja has disqualified the candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the Bayelsa State governorship election, Timi Silva, from the contest. A member of the All Progressives Congress in the state had in a suit asked the court to determine whether Silva was qualified to contest in the election, having occupied the office of governor of Bayelsa State from May 29, 2007 to April 15, 2008, and May 27, 2008 to January 27, 2012. However, in a judgment delivered on Monday night, Justice Donato Sokoro held that allowing Silva to contest again would breach the provision of the 1999 Constitution, having been sworn in twice and ruled for 5 years as governor of the state. The judge also said Silva would spend more than 8 years in office if allowed to participate in the election and eventually win. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has faulted the European Union's report about the 2023 election. Wike said the report did not give the true position of the last poll held in the country. While maintaining that the Union was supposed to play an observer role, Wike urged them to respect the country's laws.
I do not agree with the European Union on the understanding of the past election in Nigeria. I solely take exceptions on their stand because we don't. There's no need for you to interfere in Nigeria, rather to observe and make a recommendation. And the interference scheme when the electoral programs going on is not acceptable. We don't know.
But responding, Isopi said the report was done by independent observers who do not work under her. She, however, maintained that the European Union is committed to working with Wike for the development of the FCT.
The objective is really to assess the process against international agreements, international treaties signed and ratified by Nigeria, but also against Nigerian law. In no way the purpose is to say whether the elections are legitimate or not, because that's not the purpose. And the purpose, as you said, is actually to analyze the process and offer recommendations. And
on the foreign scene, polls have opened in downtown Mosarato, which hosts Liberia's capital city of Monrovia, as the country elects a president for a 6-year tenure. Venue voters have reportedly turned up in their numbers, some of them queuing since the wee hours of the morning to enable them vote early. Peace is uppermost on the minds of Liberians as they go to the polls. Still on the foreign scene, the devastating floods which killed thousands in the eastern Libya a month ago were the result of a destructive force of nature, but there seems to be evidence that mismanagement by the local authorities led to many deaths that could have been prevented. First, residents of Denmark, the hardest hit town, say they were told to stay at home rather than being evacuated, even though it was known that Storm Daniel was coming. Second is local and regional authorities are accused of failing to address the dangers posed by the dams on the Denver riverbed, which runs through the town. And in sport, Nigeria, South Africa, and Morocco could be placed in the same group when the African Cup of Nations draw is made in Ivory Coast on Thursday. The 6 top seeds include Morocco, who created history at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar by becoming the first semi-finalist from Africa. Nigeria is among the 2nd seed, while South Africa has had to settle for a place among the 3rd seeds for the draw in Abuja, the Ivorian economic capital. And that's the Citizen FM News at noon. I am Lawrence Umaiti. Good afternoon.